Welcome to Research Databases. Everything every Timberwood student needs to know about using databases and not Google when you're doing academic research. So let's start off, first of all, with Google. Okay. So you've been working on a project, probably a PBL. You start out with a question and you need a solution. And somewhere between that problem and that solution, you're going to need to do some research. Well, most of us are so used to just going to Google when we want to know something that that's our natural response. We just Google it. See, it's even a verb. Well, Google is great for quick questions. And here's some examples. So I'm watching Stranger Guys, finally saw season 4. And this guy, Steve Harrington, I was curious about the actor who played him. So I Googled that and I found out he's almost 30 years old. See, that's a quick question for Google. Or my husband and I, we both work, we come home, we're dragging. We look at each other and we say, who's cooking dinner? And neither one of us wants to cook dinner. So I'll go to Google and I'll say, hey, Google, find a Mexican restaurant near me. And that's how we ended up at Julia's restaurant the other night, because of Google. Or maybe I'm planning a trip to Colorado because I just love Colorado. And I know that I'd usually fly into Denver, and Denver can be weird this time of year with the weather. So I want to know, is it snowing in Denver, Colorado, right now when I'm packing my suitcase? That's a good question to take to Google. Those are what I call quick questions. And that's what you want to use Google for. Here's the problem. Google is a company, and it exists to make money. And it makes money based on what users click. So when you do a search and you see ad, sponsored site, ad, well, those are paid sites and they've paid Google a fee so that they show up first when you do a search. And that's a problem because it doesn't mean the information on those sites is reliable. Another problem is the unreliable sources. Anybody can post anything they want on the internet, and we all know that. We know that just because it's on the internet does not make it true. And that creates extra work for you, the researcher. That means you now have to go back and double check everything that you have learned on your Google search, because you don't know if it's reliable. You don't know if it's fake information or dependable. And that's a problem. Another issue with Google is that what you get is disorganized. It's not organized in a way that you can use it in a meaningful way, which creates even more time for you. And so I have a motto that I like to go by when I'm doing research, and it's called let's work smarter, not harder. And Google is going to lead you to working harder to try to sort out the real information, the reliable information, from the fake information. So if I can't use Google when I'm doing research, well, then what can I use? I got the answer for you. It's called a database. Here's the difference between what Google gives you and what a database gives you. You do a Google search and you get a list of hits on your search. It could be images, it could be videos, it could be websites, but it's just a random list of stuff that fits your search. Nobody's double checked the information to make sure that information is quality, that it's accurate. And that's a problem. We don't need problems. So what is a database? Well, a database is a collection of information that before it ever shows up in publication, it has gone through a process called peer review. And what that means is that it has been checked and double checked by a team of experts in that field before it could be published. And anything that was questionable had to be corrected or fixed before it could be published. So the published information is truthful, is accurate. That makes what you get from a database truthful, trustworthy. So the information in a database is trustworthy because they're only using resources that have checked their information. Does that make sense? Okay. So there's several problems with Google that databases are going to help you solve. They save you time, they provide reliable sources and information, it's organized in a way that makes it quick and easy for you to use, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but it allows you to create your citations that you need very quickly. So that is why I should use my databases. And we use a company called Gale or TextQuest to provide you, our district students, with the best quality databases that we can find. So what do I have in my TextQuest databases, which I will show you shortly? For starters, we have Britannica, which is an encyclopedia. We have Gale, which is actually a collection of databases. We have teachingbooks.net, which actually provides teachers with a lot of resources to support stories and novels and other things that they're teaching in the classroom. And then, of course, we have National Geographic, otherwise known as Nat Geo, which is awesome. So what's in Britannica that makes it so awesome? Well, it starts off with 3 levels. There's the elementary version, the middle, and the high. And so you use the version that is easiest for you. We also have 2 levels in Spanish, which is really awesome. There's a lot of great features with Britannica, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, as always, because we are very big on security, I want to make sure that you have your passwords that you need. If you're using Gale, you only need a password. There is no username. And it's Panthers, lowercase, with an S, just like our mascot at Timberwood, Panthers. If you're going to use Britannica, then your username is Timberwood, lowercase, and the password is Panthers, lowercase with an S. Now, let's get started.